What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to set up a project with Sanity.io. Sanity is an awesome CMS that's very flexible and customizable. It fuses very well with Vue and React. And in this example, I'll be starting a project with Sanity and Vue. I'll be going over this guide located on the Sanity.io website, which tells you how to start up and configure the two, and then also give a couple other tips about Sanity as well. So let's get started. So to start off, you want to make sure you have the Vue CLI installed, and then we'll create a Vue project. We'll do the default Vue 3, and we'll add the Vue router. So we'll do Vue create, Vue Sanity blog. We'll go with Vue version 3 with the default. Once that's done, we'll change directory into our project. And then we'll add router. And yes, for history mode. We'll then do npm run serve. We'll start up our development server. And we can pull that up at localhost 8080. Looking good. So this was setting up a Vue project, which we've done. They say you can stop the development server. And so if you don't have it already, you'll have to install the Sanity CLI. I already have it, so I won't run it, but it's just npm install -g sanity/CLI. By the way, if you don't have a Sanity account, you might want to make one. It's Sanity.io. You can sign up for free and just hook up right through your GitHub account. See, this is my personal Sanity, not through work, and I have a just one test project in here. But you can create a project. That's what we'll do with the CLI. But once you make an account, it'll take you to this screen. So you'll install that if you need to, and then we'll create the project with Sanity in it. And it might ask you to log in or create a new account in the browser first. So I think that command will just open up the browser for you anyway, actually. So I'll go ahead and stop that server for now, and I'll run Sanity in it. You create a new project, say Vue Sanity blog. Default configuration, yes. It's going to create the data set. And then do you want this as the project out path? And just hit enter. Then they give you some project templates that you can use to get started with. And the movie project and e-commerce will also give you sample data. We're just going to go with the blog, where they don't give you sample data. It's just a basic data schema to get you up and running. So they want you to change directory into the studio. So this is the project, and this is the studio. I named the project Vue Sanity Blog. I should have named this Vue Sanity Studio, but you change the folder name to Studio anyway. But in our project directory here, I'll just go ahead and open the code editor. So this is our project, and then this is the studio. So Sanity is the CMS, and Studio is kind of like the front end that you see when you're using the CMS. So if we look in the blog here, it's recommended to rename the folder to Studio. You also need to update the browser list in the Vue.js package.json. Replace not dead with not less than IE8. And they said that was in the Vue projects package.json. See, browser list, so we're replacing not dead with that. Let's save that. So I'll be running the Vue projects local server on my main terminal. So for the studio, I'll open up this terminal with Control Shift and backtick and clear this. So I'll change directory into studio and then run sanity start. And you'll see it compiled successfully, and that can be found at localhost 3333. I'll ask you to sign in. And there we go, it's our CMS. So we have posts. You can create a new post with this button here. Have these different fields. Author, so it would list the authors here, list the posts here, create a new one. Have these fields for author. And the category. So it says before adding any content to the studio, you don't have to do this, but it says let's modify the default blog schema to include the post description in the content. To update the studio schema's post.js to include the following description field. And they say to enter that after the slug field. So I'll copy that. It's an object here. And actually I'll show you what this is going to change. So if you go to create a new post, we see title, slug, and author. We're going to add another field here. So in our studio, we have our schemas, and then we have the post. So this is the post schema. I'll explain more about this later, but these are the different fields, like the title and slug, and that's what is rendering those. So now we add another object. Save that. And if we go over, we see the description field here. And actually I know of another, you can actually add a description to any of these. So if you do description, Save that. See, this is a description of the article. So you can add little description labels under any of these if you want it to be more clear to the client or whoever's using the CMS. So now we can start adding in some content. For the title, I'll go with a super original, awesome blog. You can generate a slug, so .com/awesome blog. Description, awesome description of the blog post. So author, you can either go here and then create a new author, and you can choose from different authors as you create posts with this drop down. You can also search for authors, which is nice. What's also nice is you can just create a new one right here. I'll open up this other page and you can just create an author right in line. So I'll go with Andrew Gaynor, generate the slug, and you can select an image that's already in your CMS or upload from your machine. Go with this tech check image here. Bio. And I'll get into more later about how you can kind of customize what's up here, but you can change from different H1, H2, H3 tags, bold, italic. You can select, create a link, and put in the URL there. So we can publish this author. Now that's created. See, that's there. So back to our awesome blog. Upload an image for that. It's me in Cancun hanging out in the hammock. Awesome thing with Sanity and images is you can click on this and have this where you can crop it, and there's a hotspot on where to focus, and they have your different aspect ratios and what it would look like if you want to focus on a certain thing. It's pretty awesome. Category, so you can add item, add multiple categories if you'd like, and again search for existing or create a new one. I'm so original, it's crazy. Jeez. Publish that. You have this date picker. And then this one will probably have more styles. Yeah, so that's where you can select the different headings and such. Oh yeah. Publish that. So now we want to connect Sanity with Vue. I'll have to install some dependencies here to run the Vue here. So get the Sanity client, which is the official JavaScript client by Sanity and can be used both in Node.js and modern browsers. The blocks Vue component, a Vue component for rendering block content from Sanity. I think block content is typically referred to as everything that's entered in one of these blocks of content, because you can add images and whatnot in there. And Sanity image URL. a helper library to generate image URLs and perform helpful image transformations through the Sanity asset pipeline. So we'll install those with this command here. It'll be in the project root. So I'll go to my project here, run it there, and more installing. So once these packages are installed, we'll create a new file named client.js inside of the source directory, and we'll add the following code inside client.js. So inside source, new file, say client.js, paste that in there. And then the project ID will go here, which can be found at manage.sanity.io or in your sanity.json. Go in here in your project ID and copy that and paste that here. So we'll also have to add the port where the Vue.js development server is running to the CORS origin of our Sanity project. And so you can do that through the website or through the CLI. You can do it in your project settings. Let me refresh this here. You go to your project, go to settings, API settings, and then you can add it here and click save. You can also just run this command, and that'll be in your studio folder. So you stop your local server, paste that command in there and hit enter. And it gives you this warning asking if the origin should be allowed to send requests using authentication tokens or session cookies. And they say that any script on this origin will be able to send requests on your behalf to read and modify the data if you are logged in to the studio. If this origin hosts a studio, you will need this, otherwise you should probably answer no. And I noticed on the site that it was checked off by default, and I just saved it. So I'm saying no. CORS origin added successfully. So go up and run Sanity start again. Okay, now we're gonna display the posts on the home page. So they give you this code to write over on your home.view. So I'll go ahead and paste that in there and then explain more of what it's doing. So if you go to views, home view, and paste that all in here. Change this back to home view so it doesn't bark at us. Save that. So we're importing Sanity from the client.js file that we made in the last step. And then this is a grok query. This is how Sanity retrieves data from the CMS. Grok stands for Graph Relational Object Queries. So we're bringing in the type post, the ID, the title, the slug, the excerpt, and the first 50 blogs. Another thing I like to do is use the spread operator to just bring it all in. So you don't have to worry about missing one between the ID, slug, title. And you don't have to use them on the front end, but they're there if you want to access them. And then to execute the query, we have this fetch data function in our methods object. So we do the sanity.fetch and pass the query in. And then the fetched content is stored in the posts array, and we're using posts equal posts there. And then inside the template, we're mapping over those posts with the for loop. For the unique key, we're using the post ID. And then we have our router link, /blog/ and then with the router, we have a post, slug, and then current. So whichever blog that we click on, the slug will go here. But in order to get that to work, we need to set up dynamic routes real quick. So in our source folder, under components, we'll add a new file. That'll be single post.vue. And they've given us some code to put in here. And I'll link this article in the description, by the way. So we're importing this image URL builder from the Sanity image URL, which we installed earlier. And we're passing in Sanity into that, and we're saving this to the image builder. We have another query for the specific blog. We have this Sanity blocks component, which I'll show you in a second. So we're doing the Sanity fetch, passing in the query, and also the slug that we're getting from Vue router. So whatever page you're on the single post component, it'll grab the slug, and that's how they'll know which blog to grab. So we have an image here, we have the vif, so if there is an image provided, this image URL, we pass in the image. We have the post title and post name, and then the Sanity block, so this will be the content of the post I was talking about earlier. So if we save this too, so we have Studio running. Let's get this one running again, our Vue project. Let's go back to the Vue project. Let's reload this. We see our awesome blog, the awesome description of the blog post. Click into there. And it's not working. Check the console here. No match found for location with path /blog/awesomeblog. I did not define the route in the router index file. Tried to do it from memory here. So we did this. We did that. Yeah, so we need to add this path. We create the dynamic segment denoted by the colon, which is right here. Let's go to the router, index. Add that path there. Now if we save it, there we go. We have our title, our image, the author, and our super awesome blog. So I want to show you a little bit more about how this kind of all works here. So we have this post, author, and category here. If I go in your studio here, and schemas, if we look at post, you see the name is post. This is what's used in the code. The title, that's what's displayed. So that's what's displayed here and here. And then you have an array of fields. So you got your title, the type of string, the name, again, that's what you use in the code. It's the name. The title is what you're seeing. The title and the slug. And then this preview here, title, author, main image. Preview is what's being displayed here. And this block content, you'll see in the schema, type is block content. So in this block content, it's actually a type of array, and then you pass in all of these different, so you got your different styles, and this is the, they convert to HTML tags. So that's the styles, and that's how we're getting these. You got your lists, bullet, you could do number list as well. So that's these. You select, hit enter, does another one. Strong and emphasis, decorators, that's these guys. But the cool thing is you can make this is all customizable. So you can make these named however you want and turn them into whatever you want. So very flexible. So this is a type image, and that hotspot I was showing you earlier, this options, hotspot is true. So you can add images right in here. And since hotspot is true, you can do your hotspot there. Okay, so hopefully you have a much better idea of what Sanity is and how you can connect it to Vue. If you're still around, I appreciate it. If this video helped you out, feel free to like and subscribe, drop a comment and say what's up, and thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.